Okay, this is a screen tutorial on how to use the developmental spelling assessment to see what stage students are in terms of spelling development, and also to see which phonics features they know and which phonics features they need to learn. So we can determine what children know about phonics by looking at their spelling attempts. So in this sample, the child has misspelled the word child. Or no, he tried. This is tried. And also the word find. So if the child is spelling the word tried with a CH, this indicates that they don't yet know the affricate TR, tried. And in the word find, the child's spelling here shows us that they don't yet know the blend ND at the end of the word. So we could look through this assessment and look at all the places where the child didn't spell the word correctly. Like here is the word but, and that would show us that they need the short vowel U. And we could keep track of all of those spelling features that they need to learn, and then we could teach those in order of difficulty. But Gansk is going to give us a little bit easier way to determine what children know and need to learn in her developmental spelling test. So Gansk is going to give us a writing sample that sees what the child knows about a particular stage. So you know in the DS from your readings that there are multiple stages for literacy spelling development. You got the letter name stage, within word stage, syllable juncture, derivational constancy. And in each of these stages, there are 5 features kids are learning. So in the letter name stage, we're learning initial and final consonants, initial consonants, blends and digraphs, short vowels, affricates, and then blends and digraphs in the final part of the word. So these are all the features that kids are learning in the letter name stage. And what Gansk is going to do is she is going to give us a test where we are getting a writing sample from students. And that writing sample will then help us know what features children know and which ones they need to learn. Now, to get started, we first need to determine which stage the student is in. Are they letter name stage? Are they within word, syllable juncture? And the way we're going to do that is by administering a screening inventory. This will just give us an estimate about what the child knows. Now, you have a copy of this screening inventory protocol. A protocol just means a set of instructions. And if you're looking through your forms, it has a page 29 up here in the corner. You might want to stop the video until you find that material. All right, to administer this screening inventory, you're simply going to explain to kids that you're going to tell them some words. You want them to think about all the sounds in the words. It's often helpful for them to say that word out loud slowly to think about those sounds, and then write any of the sounds that they hear. You will be giving them a piece of paper that looks like this, and you have this piece of paper in your administration forms. And you'll ask children to start on line 1, and you're going to tell them a word. You'll use the word in a sentence, and then you'll repeat the word. And you want them to give their best shot at spelling right here on this line. So that protocol form, page 29, is our form. So you would say to students, the first word is hen. The hen sat on her eggs. Hen. The second word is wish. The boy made a wish and blew out the candles. Again, you want to remind students to attempt words, even if they don't think they know how to spell it completely. Encourage them to say the word slowly, listen for the sounds that they hear, and write as many sounds as they can down. You're going to give these words 5 at a time. So you're going to give 5 words at a time. If it looks like students are doing well, then you'll give them the next 5. As you can see, these words start easy with letter name stage features, and then they get more complex as we go through this list. Now, if a child is having trouble spelling these easy words, it makes no sense to go all the way through this list. So we're going to stop as soon as we see the child cannot at least score one word correct in a group of 5. So we'll give the first 5, and if it looks like they can't spell any of those words correctly, we'll just stop there. If, however, the child spelled at least one word correctly in this set of 5, we'll go ahead to the second set. So you'll end up with a sample that looks something like this. So here is Jake's sample. So I read him the words, the first 5, and I went ahead and gave him the second 5. Now, in the protocol, it says if the child does not have any words correct in the first 5, we're supposed to stop. So according to the directions, I should have stopped. But I kept going because I'm his mom and I thought he knew more. So all we're going to do on this inventory is we're going to count the number of words that were spelled correctly. So we have the word hen, wish, trap, jump, brave, smile, and so far in those we only have the word hen spelled correctly. Now if we keep looking down the list, we can see that of the words that he was given, let me show you this. Here's the words he was given. Yeah, hen is right, and that's the only word in the first 5 that were correct. And no words in the second set were correct. Now what's interesting is you can always see things on these writing samples that are sort of interesting, even if they don't count as a score. Like on item number 3, he's writing the word trap, and that's a good example of how we say that word like an affricate. It's a little chirping sound, trap. He spelled it just like it looks, or he spelled it just like it sounds. On the word jump, he had lots of the sounds on jump, number 4. He just didn't have the p blend there. And on number 5, interesting, brave, he has that vowel consonant E long vowel pattern, even though he doesn't have all of the words spelled correctly. So what we see in here is that kids can show us that they know certain things about the spelling system, even on words that are not spelled correctly. And that's an important point as we move on to the next step in this test process, because Gansk is going to give us a way to see which words kids spell correctly, but to also evaluate some of the parts of words that they might have correct that we would want to think about and remember. So after you do the spelling inventory, that's going to help you determine which stage the child is probably working in. So how are we going to determine that? Well, we are going to look at this form. Sorry. Oops, give me 1 second. Here is our inventory scoring sheet. So if you're looking through your forms, you're looking for a page with a 31 at the top. And you might want to pause the video till you find that form. So once we have the screening inventory form, we would just look at the number this child scored correctly. So Jake scored 1 word correct, and that lets us know that he's probably at the beginning of the letter name stage. Now, if the child had scored nothing correct, what they're saying here, this asterisk means, well, possibly the child is even before the letter name stage. So the child may be sort of more in that pre-phonemic stage where they're drawing or gesturing with the pen or creating mock letters. And this assessment probably wouldn't be appropriate for a child who's doing that pre-phonemic writing. But Jake's in that letter name stage. We do see that he has discovered alphabetic principle. He's writing lots of sounds. So Gansk is going to tell us to start. Our next step after the screening inventory is going to be to do the letter name stage feature assessment. So you have those feature assessments in your assessment pack. What you're going to do is you're going to give to the student the blank form, and we're going to dictate a list of 25 words that are all in the same stage. So all the words on this 25 word list would be fair for letter name stage spellers. That means every feature is within the letter name stage. So I would put the child's name up here, and then I would put the stage we're looking at is the letter name stage. And then we are going to follow a very similar protocol to what we did for the screening inventory. And that is, we are going to read a word, then we're going to read that word in a sentence, and then we're going to repeat the word. We want to encourage kids again to listen to all the sounds that they hear in the word, and even if they don't think they know how to write the word correctly, to write as many of the sounds as they hear. So it would sound like this. The first word is jet. The jet made a safe landing. Jet. The second word is ship. The ship sailed across the water. Ship. So you get the hang of that. Now, when the student is finished with these 25 words, you will get this nice sample of what they were able to hear and record. So this is Jake's example. This is again the letter name stage feature test. And this is how he spelled the word jet. So the first step in scoring this is to come up with the stage score. And the stage score is determined by counting the number of words correct. Now on the Gansk Chapter 2 instructions, you copied those Gansk Chapter 2 instructions, page 51 and 52 from that chapter. Gansk has a pretty elaborate protocol for rating each word as a 1, 2, or 0. We're not going to do that. The simpler way to do this is to look at each word and say, was this word spelled correctly? If the word is spelled correctly, you're going to circle it. So this was the word jet. And you can see jet is not spelled correctly, so we're not going to circle it. Circle it only if it's correct. Here we have ship and bet and got. Now, got, G-O-T, is spelled correctly. It does not matter if the child uses capital letters. If the child reverses a letter, so we see some reversed letters here. That's really important information for us as teachers because we would want to shift those letter formations. And you know 4 protocol for teaching letter formation effectively. Now, in terms of scoring this test, what we have to ask is, when the child reversed this letter, does it become another letter? If it does, we can't score it correct. When you reverse a capital G, it does not become another letter. When you reverse a lowercase b, though, it would become a different letter. When you reverse a capital B, it still is a B. It does not become a different letter. So this is the criteria we use for evaluating the impact of a reversed letter. So I'm going to look at these and I'm going to say jet is not spelled correctly. Ship is not spelled correctly with a C. Bet is not spelled correctly, but got is spelled correctly. So I will circle this item. Now what I want you to do is to go down through the list and circle the words that are spelled correctly. Remember, if the reversal of a letter means that that letter becomes a new letter, you would not count it. For argument's sake, let's just practice with number 5 here. The word is cap. When you reverse a C, does it become a different letter? No. So we can go ahead and say this is an okay word. That counts as correct. Go through, pause the video now, and you go through and mark the words by circling the correct spellings. When you're finished, come back to the video.